This is Empowered Coach N. Again, I am always excited to be able to share amazing happenings, things that are happening in the world. It's just absolutely incredible. I'll share something with you. It's been an amazing journey. A journey where, on our podcast, we talk about lots of stuff focused on financing, to see how we can stop living paycheck to paycheck. But something has come across my desk, and I felt the need to begin to share even more, in spite of everything that we're looking at. Today, we're looking at a disease that is now pandemic and can absolutely affect, totally affect your ability to earn. I looked at it the other day, and as I started doing my research, because I never ever want to show up and just take things for granted. Every episode to me matter. Everything that I present to you truly does matter. And with the recognition that COVID-19 or coronavirus, there's so much misinformation that's out there, that how do you really help others when so many people are saying so many things? At one report I saw where someone was referring to, bleach, don't even think about it. And that was said famously by my son. At the time I had my last baby, I went for my checkup, and he was left home with his grandma and the baby. And what happens? My mom asked my second or my first son to look at his younger sibling, his younger brother. And he turned to my mom and said, don't even think about it. Well, it's the same advice. Today, he is, oh my goodness, he's 27. Yeah, 27. And funny it is, I think that day he felt like he was given the task to provide care to my youngest son for the rest of his life. Amazing. Those two have been incredible. My son is a part of the Army, and so he moved to Colorado a few years back. And with moving as a part of the Army, that's something that for him, he did the JROTC, he followed that course, and he has always been very cautious about income. And I remember him going to Jamaica, and I remember him saying to my mom at the time, he said, Grandma, when he converted at that time, I think it was like 90 Jamaican dollar to $1 US, and he converted that, and he looked at it and he said, Grandma, I will never be broke another day in my life. When he changed out $10 and got 900, I'll never be broke another day in my life. And believe you me, honestly, this kid doesn't live paycheck to paycheck. I'm not joking. While those of us that haven't always learned a lesson at the time, we needed to learn it, I saw him meticulously set goals, because that's the first thing you've got to do. What is the goal? What is the intention? How do you intend to accomplish it? And he set that goal, and I'm going to say that he must have been maybe 7 or 8. So almost 20 years ago. And he made that promise. He said, Grandma, I'll never be broke another day in my life. And came back up, and we thought he was kidding. And he told his sister, he said, when I get older, I'm going to be rich. And this young man, I absolutely love and adore his commitment to his promise and his word. He was the straight A student, he came to me one day and expressed to me, Mom, you know what, I don't know how, I don't feel good when I get a B. Mom, how do you I said, please don't ask me, because right there I realized that he had taken too many things from me. And I tend to be that accurate. And I had hoped that my kids would not observe that. Let me share something with you. Why this is huge. And I share my family today because I'm going to share several things about my family on this episode. And the reason being, your kids are watching you. You got an army. If you're a parent, you're an auntie, you're an uncle. There are other people that are looking at your journey with living paycheck to paycheck. And either they're going to go to the extreme that I'll never struggle a day in my life like my son did, or you'll go to the extreme that you become this spender. Well, he knew what he wanted and wanted to balance it. And like I've always said, one thing on this podcast is about me sharing my journey with you. I remember after I lost my husband and I had gone through foreclosures, that I think at that time my son took on himself the greatest task ever. And I remember him coming to me after I'd lost my Deltona residence, and he came to me and he said, Mommy, I'll never lose a house. Last year I watched him. I think he was stationed in Germany, Poland. And he called me 3 years ago and he said, Mommy, I want to purchase a house. And, he wanted me to kind of share with him the process of finding the house, getting it at the right price, and being able to maintain the house and sell it back. And he did just that. And he was able to effectively purchase the house and sold it back and got his amazing, knowing him for the saver that he is, he was able to get money from there and to carry it with him. So that was one of the most amazing things, was the discipline that he had. And for me, I look at him, and when he shared with me, what he had bought it for and what the price had gone up by a good $50,000, he was able to close out and be able to be comfortable. Guys, what are we doing? Are we willing to take the committed decisions to make a world of difference? And I mean, really stick to it. That stick-to-itiveness. And we have to have that stick-to-itiveness, that it doesn't matter where you begin. What matters is where you end. And that young man took every single thing in. And I am absolutely proud of him. I'm proud of the commitment. Because when he said to me, Mom, I'll never lose a house. When I lost my car, he said, Mom, whenever I buy a car, I'll buy my car as cash. And believe me, I have watched him bought cars and bought them cash. I remember when he was going to Stetson University, he wanted a motorbike. And as a mommy, I did not want him to get a motorbike. Hey, you know what? I'm chicken. I don't want any of my kids hurt, injured, or maimed. As a nurse, I can recognize that. No, you got to keep your kids safe. And so what I did was, I said, no, and he came and I asked why. And, he looked at it at the time that gas prices was going up, and he wanted to make sure that he maintained his financial integrity. And he was always the kid that always came back, and the words that he would use, Mommy, I just gotta philosophize to make sure that everything is right. And I'm like, what? Speak English. But one of the greatest tasks is having been a mom to a child that looked at my own errors and decided, no, that wasn't the way that I wanted to go. And I think he has pushed me to my own limits or my own max. For one, he wasn't going to a community college, and I went to community colleges, but he wasn't going to go that route. He wanted to go to Ivy League, and so he did the commitment. He looked at what it would take for him to be where he was. I remember him going through Stetson. At the end, he was commissioned into the Army, and he goes in. And as I watch his income, as I watch him grow, I watch him and his wife, and I'd never ever want to discount. My daughter-in-law is the best daughter-in-law in the world. Love her to pieces. And, as I watch that family take on a life that was going to be completely different, they weren't afraid to share the horrors of not carefully planning every dollar. Now, don't get me wrong. Can you have fun with money? Yes, you should, because I promised you something. I shared it back a couple episodes that's where my life changed. I became so petrified of losing that I focus more on not wanting to lose. And when you focus on what you don't want, by the way, honestly, the universe don't hear nothing else except not. Your not becomes what you do ask for. Your don'ts become what you ask for. So I'm going to be so brave and so bold to step out. Focus on what you want, not what you don't want. And that's a key. What is it that you want now? We look at the disease that is happening, and I was sharing with you guys that here's my son in Colorado. His younger brother goes there, and he's like, Mom, I definitely want him to come and spend some time with me, so I can really get him where he needs to be. And that's because I am the mommy that is a nightmare. And you say, a nightmare? What do you mean? Because I can't see my kids struggle. And my son felt that was not the way to go. And he said, Mom, no, I wanted to get him here with me. Now, my kids are committed to work, and they're not going to sit and wait for mommy. But sometimes mommy ends up being your nightmare, honestly, because rather than make that caterpillar emerge without opening that protection so it can grow its wings, that's where I said I became a nightmare, because I was like, no, I don't want my kids to fall. No, I don't want them to go through. No. And you heard what I just said. When I say you don't want something, what do you create? And so my son stepped in and said, no, Mom, I'm going to take him and I'm going to teach him how to do this. You've taught him how to do the medical piece. You've taught him how to work. You've taught him all of what you need to do. But I'm afraid that if something happened to you, he would not have grown enough strength in his wings to fly. And that's what I have to be able to do. And as a parent, you have to be willing to know that you have done your very best with the children, that when they become adults and you see them beginning to live out their purpose, their action, they're living out their best life, what should we do? Support. And today I'm excited that my son was able to go to Colorado where his brother was. His brother has since transferred on other missions, and my son, my youngest, remained in Colorado. Mommy's heart is always going to miss my baby. And he says, Mommy, I'm not a baby. And he's 23, but you know what? You'll always be my baby. That's okay. But what I've watched him do is I've watched him set his goal, take the action to move to Colorado, Financially, he has learned to save without mommy. He is just been on target and incredible. And I'm so grateful and thankful for the journey that I've been on, that I was honest with the kids and didn't hide things, that they could look at maybe my weakness and create strength in themselves for their own journey. Today, my oldest son, I bother him all the time, him and his wife. I said, guys, when am I going to become a grandma? And they'll let me know, Mom, you will get there, but we're not going to do it until we are in a place that we're stable. And believe you me, I truly believe that they're stable. But sometimes I still have to sit and say, you can't make it be perfect. You have to be willing to step out. And I understand. And like he has assured me, he says, Mom, I promise you, the new decade is going to be a time that you will become a grandma. So, guys, my fingers crossed. I will become a grandma again. My daughter, she's got such an incredible heart that she's kind of like me. And that's the beautiful thing about what we do, is that we don't just spend on us. That's where my daughter and I think that's where our weakness is. We look at other people and we will go without so that they can have. Is that a good thing? Absolutely not. To the degree that you sacrifice you make that other person become a thief. I'm going to say that again. To the degree that you sacrifice you, make that other person that you're making that sacrifice for become a thief. And I heard Ilani said that, and I thought, Ilani Van Sant, and I thought, are you kidding? Oh. And I see my daughter, and she is in amazing Orlando. I love the city of Orlando. I absolutely do. But I've seen her taking all of what she has, all of what she has, and giving it away. Is that her best? Or is she looking at scarcity within herself and hoping to address it in others? And that is something that, my friends, I need you to hear me. There's a place of scarcity and abundance. And sometimes if we haven't learned how to walk on those pathways and carefully maneuver ourselves, we will go off a cliff. And I've watched my daughter a few times go off a cliff. And her brothers still say, Mom, you gotta make her learn how not to. But you know what? Inside of me, my daughter and I are exactly alike. I will not see people go through hardship. I've learned how to do it now, though. I've learned to do it now in style. Where I remember praying one day, and just in my spirit, I felt something was just absolutely off. And when I say off, I really mean off. And I had to stop and look at me. When I begin to step in and to save the world and forget myself, I go into a place of selfishness. But you're helping other people. But you must serve you first before you serve the world. You see, what's in the cup belongs to you. What's in the saucer belongs to the world. And oftentimes I would empty my cup and a saucer's already gone. And that's where we now have to create that relationship with our finances, that we can come into the form that we need to come into. You have a situation where we have COVID-19. My son is in medical, and I spoke to him about it, and I said, guys, let me ask you a question. Has your facility spoken to you about it? Have you prepared? Are you ready for what's going to happen? And my son is definitely ready. But the knowledge base that he has to address the issues of coronavirus, I see facilities not protecting the sanctity of life, not giving us enough information to be able to make informed decisions. And that's why for me as a nurse, I was able to willingly walk away to protect my own children. And I look back today that my life primarily now, I am in a virtual situation where I'm working with others. I am doing digital products, marketing, different things over the last, I want to say the last 5 years that I've evolved into, I'm not in direct contact. But what about you if you're out there, you're earning the living like that attorney in New York, earning the living, but something takes you off your game, like a disease such as we're seeing. Are you ready? Have you made enough preparation? Have you done what you needed to do to make sure you have a safety net put aside? How? You've got to think about that. You've got to make sure you have your supplies, you have your 6 months income put aside. You've got to make sure that you're covering yourself and your family. And as we see it today, travel has changed. And my first degree was in hotel restaurant management, so you know that I know what I'm talking about. Hotel restaurant management has changed. Airline industry has changed. My industry has to change, because who is on the front line getting sick? Nurses and doctors. We're getting sick and we're dying. We look at transportation, that has changed. When we look, we assume, because I'm here in the United States, everything, I'm always going to have it. But I go into the store, and because I live in Florida, I know what it's like to go into a store and we're making preparation for hurricane and there's nothing. Well, it's the exact same thing. You go into the stores and you're not seeing what is supposed to be there. We're seeing prices go through the roof. We look at finances again, not living paycheck to paycheck. If you were living paycheck to paycheck, what are you going to do different today so that tomorrow, if that job is shut down or quarantined, that you have enough income? You need to think about it. Like my son said, don't even think about not being prepared. Preparation, when it meets opportunity, takes you to a place of abundance and wealth. Now, scarcity can be in my relationship, it can be in my finances, and I'm going to go into another future episode to kind of go through that with you. Scarcity can show up. How am I treating myself? How much sacrifices am I making for me? Today, I ask everybody, I said, I love you guys, but I need you to do me a favor, because I have to look out for my own physical well-being. I chose to work from behind a computer, and so many friends and family, at first when I started, they're like, no, you must see what the future holds and prepare for it. Today, online education is as great as anything. The level of student debts, and yes, I graduated with those, out of proportion to the income that you make on an annual basis. I had to do something different in my line of work, and today I'm secure, I'm at peace, I'm safe, I'm protected, because I've chosen to do that. So there's a couple of things that I just went over with you. Preparation means you're prepared to take on additional tasks that will create income for you. And you're listening to this podcast, please subscribe so as I drop these podcasts, you can get them. So let's go back. Preparedness. 1, preparedness means in my finances, I have to be prepared now to tell people, no, you can't come to my house. I don't want to be exposed to your loving germ. And I have to be prepared, because I remember saying to my mom on Sunday, I said, Mommy, right now I don't see headed into church as a potential that is not going to put you perhaps at risk. And I have to be honest, I love going to church. I love that, yes. But do I want to put myself at risk? What are the decisions that you have to make now that's going to consistently carry you across and take you over there safely? The other thing is you must create other passive streams of income. What are the income that you have coming in? If it's only active in this economy, honestly, I saw the economy 2 weeks plummet. The first 3 days they lost $1.3 million, 1.5 million. Sorry, $1.5 billion in loss. Then we saw consistently losing. Have you recession-proof your economy? Guys, this is serious. Have you done what you needed to do to make sure you had the income? See, my income is based on me being able to speak. Have you created a source of income that you don't have to be in direct harm's way to get compensated? Are you doing some kind of affiliate marketing? What's that? Do you know companies actually reward you to help them to share the message? What are you doing? I see my nurses, and all we had was we went to school for our nursing degrees, and that's all we've come back. And that's the only place that we've kept our knowledge base. Grow beyond there. Are you doing podcasts? Are you doing YouTube? Are you doing blogging? There's so many different ways. And so today, I'm going to share with you guys. Head on over to Coach Nicola B, where I allow myself to share opportunities that you can continue to consistently make income without putting yourself in harm's way. When you got families to take care of, you want to be sure that you're going to be here. And being here means you're taking care of everything that you should. So you did your preparation for your finances. You did the preparation for the line of income. Because remember, you almost have to take out an insurance on your income to make sure if this one doesn't work, there's something else that happens. And I always say, when you look in the Garden of Eden, there was 4 rivers, 4 streams. So multiple streams of income is imperative. We also have to make sure that mentally we're ready. Do you know that every hour of worry and anxiety puts our immune system down by about 4 hours? Now let me tell you one. Every day that I sit to complain, whether I'm going to complain about politics or complain about religion or complain about something, it costs me 24 hours. So I complain every day. And it costs me a year. Whatever you are doing now, 30 days from now, you can reap the rewards of having a positive mind. I want you to be safe. Wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands. Can I emphasize that enough? Wash them. 20 seconds, warm, soapy water. Wash them. Because if you've protected the income and you really don't want to go back to the paycheck to paycheck, you then had to create the extra source of income coming in. Then what else do you have to do? You must protect your health. Be abundant in your health. And being abundant in your health means you are washing those hands the way you should for those 20 seconds in the warm soapy water, not touching your eyes, your nose, your mouth, not touching the mucosa lining of your body. No. You're not going to place yourself within close proximity of others for extended or prolonged periods of time. Protect you first. Please learn to put the oxygen on you. And then you're going to put the oxygen on others. Guys, you're responsible for your life. You're responsible for what happens with your life. What else can I share with you? Be sure that you are taking your supplements that you need to take into your body. What supplements? Again, I go into discussion about supplements in a whole different episode. Make sure your vitamin C, your vitamin D's, make sure those are where they need to be. Guard yourself just like you would in the flu season, except you're going to do it 5 or 10 times better than you did it in the flu season, because this is that critical. What else are you going to do? Not panic. Do not let fear become a part of you. You see, this is where I love to fall back and to remember always that the word that I rely on, first of all, before I rely on anything else, I rely on the word of God. Be anxious for nothing, but with prayer and thanksgiving, make your request known. Your cells know you, and they're going to respond to what you say. If you say, I'm going to get sick, you get sick. But if you say, I am healed, I'm happy, I'm healthy, I'm whole. I'm healed, I'm happy, I'm healthy, I'm whole. That's what you're going to receive. So let's say that again. I'm healed, I'm happy, I'm healthy, I'm whole. I'm safe, I'm secure, I'm at peace, I'm protected, I'm loved. You begin to reaffirm those things to yourself, and those things are going to come forward. I want you to be safe. And I want you, just like my son said, don't even think about it. Don't think about the negative scenes and scenario that you see. And no matter where, no matter what happens, yes, you're seeing it in the economy. Yes, you're seeing it in the different industries that are having to change the way we do business. Do not shake hands. I do not want to share anybody's germs, and please, I will not allow you to share mine. Therefore, keep yourself safe. There are things that I've shared with you on this episode. If you do them and you do them, they're going to sustain your life. And until our next podcast, please be sure to subscribe. Please plug yourself in. Look for opportunities of amazing abundance around you, because they're there. You just sometimes have to train yourself to spot them and see them. Head on over to YouTube, Coach Nicola B. And from that place, I want you to listen. To reach out on Instagram, it's Instagram. What are you going to do? It's hashtag EmpoweredCoachN. And with the hashtag EmpoweredCoachN, you will be informed. My people perish for a lack of knowledge. You have the knowledge. You're gaining the knowledge every day. I want to share something with you also. One of the things that we do is here at Empowered Coach N, we have the opportunity to be able to work with an amazing doctor. His name is Dr. George McDermott. He is absolutely amazing and instrumental. I will be bringing him into the podcast to share the technology that he has developed to help to protect our system from SuperBug invasion. Because let me tell you something, SuperBug is a nightmare. And if you're ever going to get sick, you're ever going to go to the hospital, you're ever going to go to the doctor, you want to be able to protect yourself from SuperBugs. So you'll be hearing from Dr. George. I have a pastor in Africa, in Nigeria actually, and he's also going to be on the podcast and sharing his take on the ground in Africa. How is he preparing? How are the people preparing? What is he seeing there? And these are ways that we grow. We grow as a community. So as a community, please be sure to subscribe. And as always, it is always my joy, my pleasure to be able to bring you information for you to make informed decisions and choices. Life does matter. You do matter. You are enough. And I want you to have an amazing, amazing day. Be blessed, be peaceful, and always remember, keep you safe. Put the oxygen on you before you put it on others, and you're going to be all right. That's what we will declare. Until later, namaste.